Well, now they just use rhetoric. It's just Nathan and his bullying and rhetoric. That's all Flat Earth has anymore.
Yeah.
Or you can
Yeah, I'm not
polish.
cool with the mute.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. No,
Oh,
I'm not cool with their muting that they do over there.
yeah, that's super not cool. Nobody should go there because Nathan is just a bully and a clown. But the only thing experiment that's been recent that I can think of is Ranty pouring sugar into an aquarium.
That was cool.
He just abandoned that though.
Oh, did he get some mass-to-mass stuff going on and he quit it, or it just wasn't
Well, I thought
controlled enough?
I thought he was going to conduct further experiments that were that came up from complaints from Globers, but I'm not aware that he did that. He might have, and I just didn't see it because I don't always watch fucking 4-hour videos. 4 hours of Paige and Pete Shea talking is not good for any human.
Water particulation.
But I thought it was pretty conclusive that he showed the videos that I saw showed that he didn't show what he claimed to have shown, because there was one that was mirrored on Blue Marble's site from somebody else, I forget who, which clearly seemed to show it bent a lot of the image up, which is contrary to what he was looking for.
Oh, he was doing refraction stuff?
His goal was he wanted to show
downward refraction?
There's a name for it. It just blows my mind. It just escapes
Sinking.
my mind. Sinking. Yes, he wanted to show sinking because then he could use that to show as a flat Earth argument.
Like everything was bending
Yes.
down and we never
Yes.
reaching our eyes or whatever.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
explain things.
Well, no, thinking requires bending up.
Yep. Light
But
bends
I-
away
whatever.
from the denser medium.
But I don't
Yeah,
think
but-
he showed that.
No,
He was trying to counter that.
he didn't show that because he didn't let anything settle. He had different layers of hot sugar water in his fish tank. It was just a really weird thing. And even if he managed to show that, he would have to somehow validate that either somehow the atmosphere gets denser as you go up, or that refraction bends opposite to the way we know it to.
Well, that was literally what he was aiming for. At least that was the sense I got from when I talked to him, is that he wanted the hot, very dense sugar water to be on the top. So he made water that dense with sugar, and then he made it hot so it would be on top, and therefore the light would bend down. That's what he wanted. That's what he was aiming for. I don't know if he achieved that or not.
He added water a couple of times and let it partially cool each time. So he literally just had a mix of all sorts of random shit in there. There's no telling what the actual result was.
Gradient was.
Yeah. Well, it is a conundrum in that obviously the hot water would want to be on the top of the colder water, but it being heavy and sugary, it would also be heavier and want to, so who the hell knows? He said he was going to do an experiment with the hot sugar water and some food coloring added to it, but I never saw that video. But I don't know if he did it or not. Maybe he did it.
Did he not put ice in the...
I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird though that they're wanting to say like denser up top, but then I guess the temperature giving, that counter effect. But that's, how could he then apply that to reality? It's
Well, he could just
interesting.
he could
Maybe
just,
the temperature. But
he could just lie. All he would need would be the image, and the people that go to Ranty's are dumb enough that all they would need would be an image that would confirm their beliefs, and he could just lie.
Who was the guy in here today? Was it Whitsitt who was saying that atmosphere gets denser as you go up because colder means denser? Who's that guy?
I
He's
don't know.
relatively polite.
That might have been a couple days ago.
And I think
Whitsitt,
that's space coke, isn't it?
a couple days ago, Whitsitt claimed that as you get closer to the sun, it gets smaller.
Oh yeah, all those balloon observations that for
Yeah.
some reason people say are smaller.
Well, it's smaller, I think, in large part probably because it just looks smaller compared to the limb of the Earth that you're seeing at that time.
Well, that's simple. Find a field of view of your camera and find out how big it is.
Very weird.
Yeah, but I think that Ranty does. I'm like about 60% there, thinking that Ranty is definitely thinks that the Earth is a globe, and he's just looking for ways to fool the people that come into his shows. But he's at the same time not very bright, and so he messes it up every time, and it ends up proving the globe. That's my current theory.
You just said a lot. I did want to ask you, do you think he's like, that was a good mix of, necessary variables. But I know he does talk about the science stuff a lot. I was going to ask if he's even worth checking out. I have heard him, here and there for the past years, but
Who, Ranty?
do you think he's just a snake oil? He's well, yeah, I heard him talk here and there before. Do you think
I'm about 60
he's
to
a
75.
snake oil set?
I think about 60 to 75% there. I can only just give probabilities. There's a quantum uncertainty principle of flurfers, which is that you can never you can never know are they real? Is it real or is it a Poe? The universe can never really tell you. It's just not possible in this universe.
Yeah, the only ones that I'm confident of are the ones who only say the dumbest things always. Yeah, the ones who never come up with a reasonable argument.
Brian
I
Leake.
consider them to probably be Poes.
Yeah, Brian Leake, definitely true believer. Daniel Pratt, believer. 10th Man, believer. Chocolate Saiyan, believer. Arwen, believer. Nathan Thompson. Oh man,
Believer.
are you sure?
Wannabe. I like what you're saying, quantum uncertainty principle, because it's like it matters when you look at them at that moment. Or like when people look at me at a moment, definitely 100% flat earther in some people's minds in certain moments. So yeah, I like your quantum uncertainty.
Well, it's just a little joke. I like to make jokes. So yeah, Nathan Oakley, definitely a con artist. Quantum Eraser, I think he's a con artist. He's a globe believer, con artist. I'm not 100% sure.
Riley?
Idiot.
Fuck. He Riley. Oh man.
Idiot. He got one thing right. It was an egg.
Yeah.
And it was salt.
Riley, I think, doesn't care about the truth. I don't know if he cares if the Earth is flat or not. With some of them, I think that what other people have said in the past is they just want they're sad people who need attention, and this is a good way to get attention, and in others it's definitely the Dunning-Kruger of like for instance Brian Leakey was talking to Tony on Fight the Flat Earth and said that he was smarter than Tony, who was a PhD in physics. And Brian Leakey thinks he's smarter than him, and I think that's with a lot of them. They think that
What is it about Brian that makes these flat earthers think they're like in the top 30 intellects of the world? That's just sorry, Tony, not Brian. Tony, like Spurs. He made a comment to Spurs, and Spurs instantly took that as Tony saying, "Oh, you're in the top 30 intellects in the world."
Spurs
is just fucking with you.
Yeah, he's totally a Poe. I'm totally convinced of that. It's pure Dunning-Kruger. Dumb people don't know how dumb they are, and think that they're geniuses. And yeah. I mean, you listen. I've listened to like Ranty's show with Right the Hand and Gleam talking with each other, and they like think that they're doing physics. They think that they're doing that they're solving problems. They're making progress.
Yeah.
They're doing research by sitting there and jacking their jaws, and they haven't got a fucking clue about
Left
even
foot
just
is another.
high school physics. Well,
Yeah, well, Leatherfoot is another self-admitted pope.
Gleam may be a bit more, and I think it's a combination of I want attention and I think I'm smarter than everybody else. I don't
Oh,
know.
that reminds me of someone else in here the last week or so.
Me, I
Don't know
want
who
the
I'm talking
attention. Hey, I do have a Dunning-Kruger question. Is there a threshold where at the top of the scale, or whatever, at the top of the scale where there's a checkpoint where you can break into the pure category where like you're smart and you know you're smart and you don't doubt yourself, or is it always continue whereas you're smarter you doubt yourself?
Boy, I wouldn't be sure, but I would think that, let's say, take somebody who is an actual physicist. I would think
Professor
that,
Philbelt.
You get what I'm saying though? Because like Dunning-Kruger's not fair. It's not nice. It's mean to me. I'm smart and I gotta doubt
Well-
myself. And then I gotta
well,
entertain this shit. And then,
somebody who is
I
really
don't know, you know?
somebody who is really smart could be susceptible to Dunning-Kruger. They could like think, well, I am I am an actual top ranked physicist, so I'm going to comment on some other thing. So that means I know a lot about politics. I know a lot about psychology and stuff, or things like that. I think we've seen that in the past where
Well, that would put them, I think, still on the low end of the scale. They'd be incorrect there. That wouldn't put them at the top end. So I'm saying, what if someone anticipated being at the top end? So therefore, you know, double backed on themselves. You get what I'm saying? Got caught in a loop.
I'm not really sure, but yeah, I don't know. I think anybody's capable of overestimating their skills. I would think the smarter somebody is, the less likely they would be to do that.
It's almost topic specific. With each person, each individual has on each topic.
Especially if
definitely
they
topic
have,
specific.
especially if you have experience within a university setting where there's going to be somebody whose expertise is that field, next to you in the cafeteria who's going to say, you're full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about when you talk to the media on this topic. You dummy. Don't say stuff like that. And then they would correct themselves. But maybe, I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm in the valley of despair. That's where I'm at.
No. I think they said the common behavior is the more ignorant people are overconfident, and the more studied people are more doubting. You get what I'm saying?
True.
So it's like,
I would put myself just maybe one tick to the right of the valley of despair. There's a couple of things where I think I have an inkling of what I'm talking about, and then everything else, no, I don't. Although
we're all specialists, man.
talking to flat earthers does have a tendency to make you think you know an awful lot
A lot.
because they're so dumb.